The boy you're looking at here is 13-year-old Nathan Breeze from Victoria in Australia and 11-year-old Jacob Werteling from Minnesota in America. Breeze, it's a surname that relates to weather. Werteling is a German surname, and Werteling actually means weather child. So Werteling and Breeze, and I didn't think too much about the surnames of these kids when I connected them. Nathan died in the 2009 Black Saturday bushfires. Jacob, he died back in 1989 after being abducted by a closeted predator. And that's one of the reasons why I'm very strong about being open about the fact that I'm gay and about my sexuality generally. And I feel like I've got the full backing and support of both Jake and Nathan in doing that. It really is not easy to be openly gay. I'm not always honest about the fact that I'm gay, but I am reasonably open despite the amount of homophobia that does still exist. I'm not religious for that reason. I have really been turned off religion by the fact that most religious people seem to be very coercive, and they seem to oppose, like in Australia, you've got a lot of conservative Christians who have opposed same-sex marriage, and they've opposed the Safe Schools program, which was actually designed to educate kids about gender diversity. So what did the Christians call it? They called it a social engineering dressed up as anti-bullying. Well, actually, if you want to tackle bullying, you need to go to the root cause, and they could have simply renamed it as a gender diversity program instead of scrapping it. But the New South Wales government did scrap it recently, and I mean, there's so many reasons I don't like religion, and I don't like a lot of religious people. And one is they don't appreciate or value honesty. They don't recognise the benefits of being honest and open about who you are, who you naturally are. They seem to put their moral comfort ahead of the safety of kids. And I absolutely mean it when I say that Jake, he was more than just a victim of one man. He was a victim of a culture of secrecy. And Nathan being a victim of a bushfire. Well, how many Christians are climate change deniers? And yes, bushfires are natural. They've always happened. There's been big bad bushfires before humans started causing climate change. But Black Saturday was a perfect example of a weather event that was souped up, or on steroids if you want, because of global warming. And, you know, people dying even on that type of scale. Nathan was one of 173 people who died on Black Saturday. He was one of 9 people who died in the house where he was sheltering. His little 5-year-old sister died with him, his 16-year-old sister, his mother. And I just think for people not to be moved to, you know, at least accept climate science and say, yeah, okay, there's a problem. If you can't even do that, then you are arrogant, and you are showing complete disregard for human life. And anyone who's critical of the stuff that I've written about Nathan and Jacob to do with what I believe is their natural sexuality, very similar to my own, well, if you're a climate change denier, or if you're opposed to same-sex marriage, or if you're one of these people who supported axing the Safe School program, well, I call you out for being worse, far worse in terms of disrespecting both these kids who are dead. Except they're not. Because Nathan and Jacob have helped me put together a weather prophecy, and I've been talking about it in quite a few, over the last couple of weeks, in quite a few videos. And the prophecy basically, my first thought was that something was going to happen on my birthday, which was Thursday, 27th of April 2017. But then I also thought perhaps what's going to happen on my birthday is merely a sign of something bigger that's going to happen a few days later. So the other date that I've flagged on behalf of these two boys was Sunday, the 30th of April 2017, and Monday, the 1st of May 2017. Now my birthday was 13 days after Good Friday, and Nathan was 13, and Good Friday fell on the 14th of April. The word dead has a value of 14. If you just add up the letters according to their place in the alphabet, D-E-A-D equals 14. Nathan was 13. If you add 14 and 13, so take the date of Good Friday and add 13 days, you land on Thursday, 27th of April, which was my 41st birthday. The word good has a value of 41, and so does the word brat. Now, brat. Who's the ultimate brat? I guess Satan would be the ultimate brat. And if you're a gay guy like me, and you come out and say, oh, I've got a weather prophecy, I've got a prediction, I've calculated a date, I think there's going to be severe weather. I think there's going to be a thunderstorm or a cyclone or something. I think there's going to be tornadoes. I think there's going to be floods. Do you know what people think? They think, well, it depends who you are as to what people think. If you're a standard conservative Christian, church-going Christian, and you say that, people think, oh, you must have the gift of prophecy. That's awesome. You know, that's great. That's a real gift. But if you're a gay guy, if you're openly gay like me, or at least reasonably open and honest, up to at least as much as you can withstand, because society really does punish you for it. And I'm honest. I've been honest on in my videos about more than just the fact that I'm gay. I've been honest about my sexuality, right down to its core. Well, do you know what society then says? Do you know what people then are more likely to say or think? They're more likely to think, oh, you must have a demon. You must be possessed by Satan. Because, God would not work through a gay guy. God would not give any kind of gift of prophecy to a gay guy. No way. And that's actually a fact. I know from the way I was treated on Facebook over a long period of time that is a fact. That is true. That's not just me being paranoid or, jumping to conclusions. That's something I've come to realize over a long period of time. But deterred as I may have been, it hasn't stopped me. I've come out and I've said what I think. Nathan and Jacob are soulmates. Wetterling and Breeze have a prophecy, and I've shared my prophecy. I've talked about it a lot. I've said I posted a video the other day with the information that's on this page. The fact that it was my 41st birthday coming up on the 27th of April, up until 3 p.m. in the afternoon, it is still the previous day in Jacob's home state of Minnesota. So like right now it's 20 past 1 in the afternoon here where I am, which means it is 20 minutes past 10 p.m. at night on the 27th of April in Minnesota. Here it's already Friday the 28th. So it's my birthday no more, except it still is in Minnesota. So the dates I worked out were Monday the 1st of May and Sunday the 30th of April, the last day of April and the first day of May 2017. I chose those dates because they're 16 to 17 days after Good Friday. And I actually think Jesus who I prefer to call Josh, so as to differentiate Jesus, the typical Christian image of Jesus, which has got nothing to do with who he was, from Josh. Josh being a more realistic representation of a boy who was essentially murdered because people thought he was possessed of the devil. So will there be a sign, I asked, on Thursday the 27th of April, my birthday, up until up until 3 p.m. yesterday. It was still the 26th. But to do with, will there be a sign in the weather on my birthday to do with Jatan's prophecy for Sunday the 30th of April and Monday the 1st of May? Jatan is a blend of two names. It's a blend of Jacob and Nathan. It's also a blend of Satan and Josh, or Jesus. So Jatan. Jatan is the fantasy 16 to 17 year old fantasy gay and kinky boy of the imagination, or from the imagination, of Jacob Wetzeling and Nathan Breeze, as well as myself. Jatan 16, going on 17. So it's always interesting. I mean, it's one thing to flag dates and say I think something might be going to happen on a certain date, but things get interesting when the real world weather forecast starts to align with what you've worked out. And this is the American Weather Channel, and this article is from my birthday, April 27, 2017, at 9:45 p.m. So it's a pretty recent article, maybe an hour ago. Potent system will increase risk of severe storms, including flooding and tornadoes this weekend in South Plains and Midwest. So that's looking ahead. This article also has a bit of information about what happened on my birthday in the United States. But before we get to the United States, I might just mention something else. And that is, if we look at the Australian Bureau of Meteorology website, first thing I noticed when I looked at this weather map was a cloud band that looks a lot like a feather. And I've long connected Jacob Wetzeling to eagles. One reason being that he actually made a paper mache eagle when he was in elementary school. Of course, it's, like I said, Friday 28th of April here now. It's getting on to 1:30 in the afternoon. And I actually mentioned back on Anzac Day on the 25th that I thought perhaps a tropical low off northern Australia might become a cyclone. Well, guess what? It was only given a marginal, slight chance of happening by the Bureau of Meteorology and the Weather Channel, but it's happened. A cyclone has formed off northern Australia in the Arafura Sea, and it is tropical cyclone, as you can see, this is from today, and it is tropical cyclone Francis. And it's interesting because had I been a girl, my mum would have named me Francis. But I wasn't. I was a boy. Perhaps a boy with a female soul. Could have something to do with being gay. Who knows? But there you have it. Francis was named at 10 p.m. on the 27th of April. That's when she became a Category 1 cyclone and got her name. She's now a Category 2, and by late today she's expected to be a Category 3. So perhaps there's a little reflection happening here. Maybe the Friday the 28th of April 2017 and Saturday the 29th of April 2017. Maybe those are dates that America should be looking out for tornadoes. the 28th of April, Man, M-A-N, has a value of 28, and that is, the 28th of April is 70 days after Jacob Wetterling's birthday, which was on Friday, 17th of February. Now, 70 is the value of zombie, which was the first thing I ever... It's the first psychic image I had of Jake, was Jake the Zombie Boy. And 70 is also the value of secret, it's the value of shadow, and it's the value of kinky. Well, I've been forced for most of my life to be secretive about my sexuality, and I am naturally a gay guy. I'm naturally same-sex attracted, exclusively same-sex attracted, and even though I can appreciate beauty in women, I'm not sexually attracted to females. I'm sexually attracted to guys. And I'm naturally reasonably kinky. So there you have a reflection. Man equals 28, kinky equals 70. The number of days after Jake's birthday, and the number of days, and the actual date, the 28th, kinky, man. 29th, black has a value of 29, and it's Saturday, the 29th of April. Nathan Breeze died on Black Saturday. So there's another reflection there. Black Saturday, the 29th of April, 2017. Could they be dates to watch for tornadoes? Maybe. And then we move on to the 30th. Eagle has a value of 30. So does date. And another thing about that date there, the 29th of April. There's a book I read called Red Rain by R.L. Stine. And in that novel, Sammy is one of the evil twins. The other one is Daniel. Daniel and Samuel. They're 12-year-old and they died in a hurricane. Sammy has a gift to do with fire. He can actually make fire come out of his eyes. So if you take Jake's birthday, 17th of February, and add 71 days, you land on Saturday, 29th of April, 2017. 71 is the value of Samuel. It's also the value of Sammy. So you got the fire boy, Sammy, and black, 29, Saturday, 29th of April, 2017. And eagle equals 30. That's 72 days after Jake's birthday. And Hitler equals 72. And so does Waldberg and sadist. I'm not going to go into that too much. I've already talked about that a little bit. But I find that quite interesting because I can see a string of reflections there that are really, really significant in relation to these two boys. Some of which I worked out or came to me very recently. And I had already flagged the dates based on the number of days after Good Friday and the age of Jatan. So 16 and 17 days after Good Friday, that being the age of Jatan, that also being the age when I think Joshua may have died. So basically we have a situation developing. There's plenty of signs. The cyclone formed. Not only did the cyclone form, but let's go back a few frames. And the clouds have formed a perfect capital letter J on the 27th of April, on my birthday. So yeah, I won't go into this other article because my battery's getting flat, but there is certainly a chance of severe weather hitting the USA on the dates that I've mentioned. I will talk about that in another video. I'll leave it there for now. So yeah, definitely
All credit goes to these boys for this prophecy, because it really is theirs, not mine. Nathan Breeze and Jacob Wetterling.